Hello everyone, Poto-chan desu. Today we are going to be talking about The Boy and the Heron again. I got some interesting comments from my first video about the Ghibli film. Thanks to those comments, I now have a much better understanding of the movie that I would like to share with you all. But before we proceed, I would like to thank this person for allowing me to share his comments in video form. As you may know, Hayao Miyazaki left a lot of hidden messages in his films. First up, the world where Mahito and Natsuko went. The ocean is meant to represent Studio Ghibli. Kiriko mentions that there are more dead people than alive here. This is meant to represent the aging staff at Studio Ghibli. There are more original members who have passed away than are still alive. And I was wondering who young Kiriko represented. But from the explanation I received, young Kiriko is actually the late Isao Takahata. Kiriko had a very manly atmosphere. Like Takahata, she loved cigarettes. And like Takahata, she was the director who guided people. What is interesting is the idea that Mahito represents Hayao and Goro, both father and son. When Mahito is at the grave of the king, at the halfway mark of the story, this grave is a representation of Hayao, who retired after the wind rises. It is a symbol of Hayao's wish for Mahito, now Goro, to become king of Ghibli. There was no real explanation of this gravesite, and it was written from right to left. So for the commenter to explain it like this makes more sense. And the pelicans are a representation of Ghibli's current senior hand-drawn animators. The budgerigars are a representation of the younger generation of digital animators. That's interesting too. There is a scene where a dying pelican tells Mahito, "This world is hell. We used to be able to eat fish in other oceans, but now we have to eat these fluffy things here. If we try to go to other oceans, we end up right back in this one." This is meant to mean that this modern world is hell for hand-drawn animators. In the past, they could make a living at other animation studios. But now, these animators can only make a living at Studio Ghibli. Even if they go to other animation studios, they require PC skills. And because of difficulties, they end up right back at Studio Ghibli. At the end, when the magical world was collapsing, all the birds were flying out of the door. This represents the young animators fleeing from Studio Ghibli as it collapses. Did any of you understand that there is a hidden message in Kenshi Yonezu's Spinning Globe? I couldn't understand the Japanese lyrics, so at the time I missed it. But after listening to the song properly, it is very powerful. There are so many thoughts and feelings from Hayao Miyazaki hidden in this film. His beloved Ghibli, the succession issue, and his feelings for the Studio Ghibli members he fought with. On the surface, The Boy and the Heron is an impressive and fantastic film, but there is the hidden life story of Hayao Miyazaki in this film. And the person who commented on my video thought that the blue heron is a representation of the phoenix, an immortal bird from Egyptian, Greek, and Roman mythology. So perhaps Studio Ghibli will burn up and turn to ashes, but from its ashes, like a phoenix, a new and reformed Studio Ghibli will rise again. This is another interesting thought, and I agree. I still want to see more Ghibli movies created by Hayao Miyazaki. And there are a few Ghibli films that I haven't seen yet, so I'm going to start watching them. Thank you for your comments, and if you like, you can comment on other people's thoughts too. Like and subscribe. See you!